Hello and welcome to LA101, the brand new student discussion show here at LA1 TV, Lancaster University. Today I'm joined by Johnny, Michael,
Hi.
and Matthew.
Hiya.
And we're going to be discussing some of the more sort of quirky, niche, topical news from the past couple of weeks. With the first episode, we're going to go back for some of the stories a couple of weeks, in sort of a couple of weeks behind. First story though was quite interesting one I picked up on social media, on Twitter. And its potential is a plan to let British people stay as EU citizens. So what are your thoughts on that, Johnny?
Well, I certainly think it's an important thing to be looking at, because there was a large number of people who felt that they were lied to massively by the Leave campaign during the Brexit, and I think certainly that would feel like it was sort of giving them a sense of an opportunity to get back where they feel they ought to be, and certainly many of the Leave voters at the time, I think, would have felt, well, it's not really working out as we'd intended. So I think it's a good thing all round. What do we think, guys?
Yeah, I'd agree. There's a lot of people saying, it's mostly the older generation who've voted to leave, and the younger generation have the argument that well, it's unfair on them because now, there's a lot more of them than there are us. I mean, obviously we're an aging population, and there's, it's getting to that point now, and a lot of the young generation are saying that it's a bit unfair that they've chosen how our future is going to turn out when they don't necessarily have as much as a future as we do.
Yeah, Matthew, the proposal has been tabled by Charles Goerens, I think it's pronounced, is a Liberal MEP, member of the European Parliament from Luxembourg. And he's basically said it's clear that the UK is divided, like Michael said, and many people want to remain part of Europe. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that the way you look at it is that there are some people that still want to be part of Europe, and that's fine. They have the ability to move anywhere in Europe with only a form of ID, I believe it is. But it's still going to affect businesses, and it's still going to really affect the markets and very much the Britain we live in now. And so the way I see it is, at this point, I don't think it really matters too much whether I am part of the EU or not, because the businesses, the markets have already been hit by what was Brexit back in June.
Yeah. But in terms of Brexit, it's not actually happened yet, which is quite interesting when you think about it. All the immediate after effects, and when you think about it, all the media coverage which was suggesting, this is down to Brexit, when actually Brexit hasn't even happened yet. So, interesting times. So the plan would ensure freedom to travel, live and work for nationals of countries that have left the European Union. So that would include Britain, obviously. And Goerens himself has said the idea is simply to guarantee those who want some of the same rights they had as full EU citizens, including the right of residence in the EU, and to be able to vote in European elections and be represented by an MEP. What are your thoughts on that, though? Because it's 50-50 split. If that is the case, then that half of Britons are European citizens and half of them aren't, how is that going to be affected? Obviously, if they're suggesting that they're going to be represented by an MEP, that's going to be representative of half the country.
I think that with politics, there's two sides to every coin. There's always going to be for and an against. It's the way democracy works. I think for people that still retain their European membership, they're still part of the EU, it gives them the freedom to go and work in whatever country, France, Belgium. You have all these countries you can work in. It allows a lot of diversity. You can go off here, you can go off here. But for people who decided to go for Brexit and they wanted to stay Britain, then they also have that choice. It's very much people can make their own choice now, which I think is good because freedom.
It'll be interesting to see, though, with the EU regulations and stuff, how much of that will be affected, because if it is live, travel, work, then if it's just those three factors and nothing else, then does some of the Leave people voted to leave because they don't want to be governed by EU regulations and laws? Do they then decide, I want to be an EU citizen now, I want to be able to move across Europe but not be affected by the regulations? So it's interesting to see what happens there. But like you say, Matthew, there's two sides to every story. And Jane Adjei, director of the Get Britain Out campaign, said, "This is an outrage. The EU is now attempting to divide the great British public at the exact moment we need unity." What are your thoughts on that, Johnny?
Well, you can certainly see a point. I think certainly when Brexit happened, there was the coin phrase, Brexit means Brexit. Yeah. And everyone thought, well, we've gone through it now. We need to get together as a nation. We need to plough through it as a nation to avoid this sort of breakup and as Jane said, the division of the nation. And I mean, I think there was a few debates. I know it was sort of debates for fun and everything, but the discussion of a second Brexit referendum, which everyone thought would be absolutely ludicrous anyway, and obviously that was the inevitable case when the debate finished. But yeah, it's not a second referendum. It's trying to maybe reach those who feel there was an injustice the first time, but it's certainly not going to go through the whole fiasco again, just for the sake of some people who felt they were wrong. Because as you've alluded to, there's many people who voted for Brexit who are still very happy that they made that decision, because they are not happy. They weren't happy with how the EU was running things before, and they remain the same now. So yeah.
Interesting to see though. Obviously, with the judges now ruling that the MPs are going to have to vote on Brexit before it goes ahead at all, whether that goes through or not, and whether this will come into play. But interesting times certainly for Britain and for Europe, especially considering I was going to throw this one in there. Obviously, just the small case of the American election the other day.
Small.
There's been some. I'm not sure if it's sarcastic, if it's a bit of a kind of not attention seeking, but a cry for attention kind of from California, who have suggested some Californians have suggested that they want independence from America. And they've suggested that it's the 6th largest economy in the world, landmass practically the size of Britain.
Yeah.
Independence for California, what are your thoughts on that, Matthew?
I think, Obama said in his speech, he says, now is the time we need to unite America. And Trump said the same thing, Clinton said the same thing, they're all saying the same thing. They need to come together. If they start splitting up, they're going to start tearing each other apart. When you lose an election, when you win an election, it's all about making sure you all come together. Because at the end of the day, you are the country. You need to be a one movement as opposed to 50 going on at the same time. Otherwise, you're going to be fighting each other and you're not going to get forward. So I think independence for California, yes, they're obviously upset about the vote, but now is the time to accept it and work with the other side, not fight against them more.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on from that now, from the politics side of things, to a slightly more trivial, slightly less, more light-hearted discussion we're going to have now about the Toblerone. Now, I think it was Johnny was saying before that he didn't know what a Toblerone was. Well, he did, but I knew what a Toblerone was. Yeah, but the name eluded you, I think. Did it?
No.
Did it not?
No.
Okay. I'll take that one back.
Yeah, you will.
But yeah, the Toblerone. It's been announced this week that it's going to be changing shape. There's now more gaps in between each of the towers on the Toblerone. It's going to be 11 now as opposed to 15, which takes the weight down from. It's taken the weight down from, I think it's 400 grams to 360 grams, so it's a 10% loss. Thoughts on that?
Oh well, we see so many first world problems going on, and this is right up there. I think it's an absolute disgrace what they're doing. No, in all fairness, it is quite shocking. I love my little Toblerones. The triangle set up without the gaps. I mean, it was always quite hard to eat, I thought, a Toblerone.
I wonder if the mini Toblerones will get smaller.
The mini
Oh,
they do mini Toblerones now,
yeah,
do they?
in the big packets.
Oh, they do. I always went for the big ones, but
goes down to just one spike now as opposed to 3.
Yeah.
One spike, yeah.
Just one spike with like a flat bit at the end.
Well, no, listen, it's every company's trying to make some cost cuts, aren't they? I think if you look at, I don't know, a packet of Walkers or whatever, you know, that's probably going down in mass. You're taking a crisp out each time. Soon we'll just get the one crisp in a packet.
It's a bag of air with crisps.
Exactly, you know. I mean, no, it is a bit ridiculous. The one positive I can say is, you know, it was a bit fiddly, wasn't it? When it was very jaggedy, so when you had to try and get into it. Oh my goodness.
I thought it was okay. You snapped the triangle off. You just snapped the triangle off and ate the triangle.
Just get your fingers.
I never snapped it off. I was at it off the thing. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah. Speaking of like contractions with Brexit, there's been one going around with this chocolate crisis. Shrinkflation, it's been called, in terms of instead of increasing costs of products, they're deciding to shrink the product size in terms of keeping the product a similar price, but obviously you're not getting as much for your money.
No, it's business. It's a business way of making profit, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
They sell more, they produce less, and do they care? No.
No, it's happened with the chocolate orange in October that went from 175 grams to 157 grams. So that's another 10% reduction.
I do like a chocolate.
Cream eggs as well. They changed the recipe for that. I think it was last year, and they had £6 million worth of sales dropped from cream eggs, and a total of 10 million from all Cadbury cream egg sort of products. That's including, the small cream eggs and different varieties and stuff.
See, I don't like cream eggs.
Yeah, I'm with him. I don't like cream eggs.
No, it's just when you get in there and it's all gooey and it's.
I once saw a cream egg recipe online on like one of those make it yourself kind of things. There's an Easter egg full of the cream from a cream egg.
Yeah, that's good.
That's probably your yearly allowance of sugar.
Yeah.
in one
No,
day.
I couldn't do it. It's too sickly. I think if I had that, I'd be straight to the toilet after. So. No, it's.
I'm sure they're only supposed to sell cream eggs at Easter, aren't they? But I'm sure I've heard that somewhere, and then they mass produce so many that they sell them all.
Yeah,
year
the
round.
thing.
now,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was reading before when I was researching cream eggs that it is like the peak time and obviously Easter was early this year. It was quite early, so they sort of struggled to keep sales up. I think with it being so early, and then to continue. Obviously after Easter, no one really buys cream eggs, like you say. So it was like you've got a much longer period to fill of not selling anything.
It's not one of them chocolates. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go to
Gone like
shop.
cream.
To shop and buy a cream egg.
Yeah,
Definitely no.
You know.
But no, there's been plenty of examples. Cadbury's Dairy Milk bars, new curvier but lighter shape in 2012, which was reduced in size. Plenty of companies have been reducing things. But yeah, any other thoughts on that one?
Well, as I've said, it makes profit sense, doesn't it, for companies to reduce it? It just means the rest of us get a bad time out of it.
Yeah.
We don't really.
Welcome to the world, kids.
Yeah, we don't really have a say in it, do we? It's their business. They get to decide.
Yeah.
Life sucks.
The Daily Mirror actually had a picture in one of their articles, which had newspapers and pens and pencils held in the gaps between the Toblerone triangles now. So potentially some new features there. Maybe hold
So
on.
you can take it into exams now and just
Yeah,
line
just
it
have a
up.
Toblerone on the desk. No food in the exams. We'll move on to the next topic now. I'm sure many of you have heard this one. I'm quite upset about this one actually, personally. I've been an avid social media fan. Was that Vine is going to be closing down in the next couple of months. Obviously 6-second video loops. It's been quite popular actually, considering what it is, and considering you've got things like YouTube out there and some other social media things that now like Facebook Live, Periscope and stuff like that. Vine's still been doing extremely well.
Now. But it's not now though, is it?
Well,
no.
yeah.
It's I suppose it is sad. I think we've all been there. When you're not feeling too good, or you might be feeling good. I don't know. And then you see a few vines. I particularly like the Louis Van Gaal vines they used to do, but that's just my personal preference. But yeah, I think there's certainly been a lot of entertainment in those little clips. And I guess it is sad, but I suppose everything has to come to an end.
Yeah.
So,
It
is a shame.
Did you use much of Vine? Did you ever watch any Vines?
I only watched the compilations on YouTube. You get the 16-minute ones, and it just be all of them at once.
Well, that's an interesting point you raised there,
Yeah.
because obviously YouTube is the go-to for video streaming now. So whether YouTube, will YouTube bring anything similar? Do you think, or
It doesn't seem. It seems unlikely because you don't go on YouTube to say, oh, let's. You don't subscribe to people for a 6-second video, do you?
Yeah.
It's usually people who are making whatever sort of content, and it's usually decent 5-10 minute videos.
Yeah.
You're not there. You're not saying, oh, I'm going to go look something up on YouTube for 6 seconds.
Yeah. But Vine's still doing very, very well. It's got 40 million registered users and 200 million people watched video clips on Vine each month. So it's still got a very big audience. The thing with Twitter is that Twitter, who now owns Vine from 2012, I think it was, they've had a drop in sort of shares and drop in income, and they've had to get rid of 9% of the staff, which has unfortunately included the Vine side of things. But I don't know. I think I'm going to miss Vine.
I think anything that went up on Vine you can put up on Twitter though. And you can tweet it, because obviously the big.
Yeah, but that'll be an embedded thing. So if Vine's gone, I think that's going to be gone. I think it'll. The original thing I read was that they're going to be getting rid of everything because apparently they can't afford to keep the servers running for the videos. But I've since read that they're going to be keeping stuff up, so I think it's a bit of a hot topic, a debated issue at the moment. But yeah, in terms of Vine though, there's it's bred a lot of social media celebrities, and a lot of people from Vine who have been big on Vine have been picked up on YouTube channels and have earned lots of money for themselves, have done films, have done Netflix series. There's been a lot of people on there. This one here, Jerome Jar, I think you pronounce his name, or Jeremy, I'm not sure. But he's reported paid $25,000 per Vine video, an estimated net worth of $3 million. So 6 seconds of your time for 25 grand doesn't seem too bad, especially from a student perspective, does it?
Absolutely not. Yeah, could get lots of cream eggs with that kind of money. Obviously, I'd be spending it elsewhere. But yeah, I mean, yeah,
pay off your degree in 6 seconds.
I know.
I imagine it's actually more stressful than you think, because you think you've only got 6 seconds and you have to entertain people with only 6 and it has to be funny or like worth watching, otherwise they'll just be like, oh, that was pointless.
The pressures of Vine.
Do you reckon here's an question for Michael, because you said about YouTube as the go-to thing and your 5-10 minute quality of content.
Mm-hmm.
Do you reckon it's harder to make a 6 second Vine that everyone, because there's some Vines I can think off the top of my head that I just remember and just stuck in my head and I can go to and still enjoy now.
Uh-huh.
Do you think it's harder to create content like that where it's repeatable?
Sometimes it depends. Obviously, if you're a YouTuber that's making things like you're making skits.
Yeah.
Obviously the skit's not going to be 6 seconds long on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a lot more time to script. It's going to take a lot more thought and effort. So I think the 6 second videos on Vine, they will have taken a bit of smart to think up, but not as much. It wouldn't have taken as long as obviously a YouTube video.
Yeah. So looking at the monthly active users here, Facebook's got almost 1.8 million. 1.8 billion.
Yeah,
sorry. I was going to say that's a bit low.
It is.
WhatsApp has 1 billion, who's also owned by Facebook, so you can see the trend here. Instagram 500 million, Twitter 317 million, and Snapchat's 250 million. I wonder if Snapchat will. That's from October 2016. I wonder if Snapchat's a bit closer to Twitter now. Because
Snapchat is getting big.
It's getting big, yeah.
The thing is, though, if you Vine on, if you do a Vine, you can like say, oh, add me on Snapchat. You can put it on Snapchat.
Yeah.
And you've got 10 seconds to play with. You got that extra 4 seconds.
Yeah. What's that? An extra
4 seconds.
Whatever. You do the maths. I'm not a maths guy, but it's an extra
2/3.
some percentage. Yeah.
About 16,000.
Yeah. So.
16.
Yeah. It's with Snapchat as well. It's getting big because you've got now stories on there, which is a big thing they've added. So you can now watch the news, sports, celebrity gossip, everything. You could practically avoid news websites and just stay up to date with everything through Snapchat. And
I do.
Well, I hope
it
it
works
doesn't
quite well.
Yeah.
No, I hope it doesn't.
I'm quite a go-to BBC News, Guardian kind of guy, but yeah, I know a lot of people do use Snapchat to keep up to date with everything. So
I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope we're not in 20 years' time. That's our source of news.
Well, we've seen it with the Independent though, who are now completely online.
Yeah,
so
I know they still do
that's the way
either, don't they?
things are
For the
going.
Independent, they still produce the newspaper, which is quite a good read if anyone.
I think Snapchat
Other
for the
newspapers
news
are available.
is like a way to engage a younger audience.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to have kids sort of 11, 12 going scouring around BBC News because they can't be bothered.
Yeah.
And I think Snapchat is a good way. They can sort of flick through the stories. They've got some videos and clear presenters saying, "Oh, this is what's going on in the world," and it sort of teaches them and makes them keep up to date with what's going on.
Full of emojis as well, isn't it? You got these videos that pop up like
you get some serious
Kim
ones.
Kardashian's done this or someone's done that. Or there's a picture of like emojis and everything all over it, but that's the way things are going, I guess. Emoji in the dictionary last year, so. Anyway, we'll move on from that one. Another social media kind of thing that's happened recently, mannequin challenge. I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
You should.
So if you've not seen it at all, or I'll fill Matthew in, it's basically a video of people in large groups frozen in like tableau, like animated, exaggerated tableaus. Of like action scenes. So there's been like swimming pool ones.
There was a skate park one.
Yeah, there's been different ones. So a lot of them at the moment have been kind of sports based, but that's probably because they're the go-to for action. But I've seen there was a James Corden one which I saw, which was in the sort of backstage area of an office, which looks quite good as well. But yeah, it's all frozen. What are your thoughts on
I love it. I think it's really dapper.
It's really
If
strange
that's,
to
if that's
watch.
a good word to use.
Yeah.
No, it's strange to watch, but I think anything for a laugh in my eyes. So I think it would be something that we could do.
We could do.
We could do.
Get LA1.
Get
Maybe get
LA1.
those guys from Barrow Riggins to get involved.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing. I mean, I can see if it was done wrong, it would look a bit stupid,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The ones that are done well look
The
like
ones that are
look,
done
they
well
look
look
as almost as if they're
excellent.
like it's CGI. It's
Yeah,
not
it
real.
looks excellent.
I saw one with Hillary Clinton on a plane.
Very good, that wasn't
It was very good, apart from the fact that everyone was still on a plane, which is quite impressive, until the end where Hillary Clinton was just kind of shaking. So not too sure.
No.
But yeah, it was. I think it's quite weird watching though.
Yeah.
I've obviously not seen it, but what
I've seen a skate
Oh,
park
you've
one.
s-
Now, I
you've
was really impressed because this guy was holding an ollie and he was holding onto the rail. He was grinding the whole time on that rail, and it went around him. And honestly, the balance he must have had, incredible.
the swimming pool one as well. I've seen where people are, like in the swimming pool, but they're kind of floating and like frozen. It's very impressive. But there's been some weird and strange and wonderful things that have come out of the internet recently. You've got the ice bucket challenge we had. There's been. See, the thing is with these things is they've all called something challenge, but half of them aren't actually challenges. What's the thinking? Like, is it just a go-to word now?
It's
Just
a
challenge?
go-to
It's a
word.
good, yeah.
I don't think we should overthink it.
Like Running Man challenge.
It's sort of to get
over.
to get it to be
Yeah.
viral, like a
Yeah.
challenge. Oh, you can all
Yeah.
like, especially with the ice bucket challenge. It got a lot of people all around
Yeah.
the world doing it, and it actually helped raise money.
Yeah, it kind of started with the cinnamon challenge, didn't it? That was kind of the
Oh.
first big one. Have any of you guys done the cinnamon challenge?
Yes.
No.
It was
Have
a
you done any
terrible
challenges?
idea.
Done anything?
I've done ice bucket challenge.
Done ice bucket challenge? Ice bucket challenge?
No.
Ice bucket challenge?
Yeah.
Any other challenges you done?
Any challenge?
Did the Running Man challenge?
The running
Just
man. What's the
derby.
running man
The
challenge?
Running Man, the way you dance move like that.
I'm
Um,
doing that every night, mate.
Have you seen any of you guys do the Harlem Shake?
Yes.
I've seen
Yeah.
it done.
Did
Seen
any
it done.
of you take part in one though? Did you take part in one?
No.
Did you? What did you do?
We were all around. This was years ago. Would it be
Yeah, it
like
was 2012, I think.
quite a
yeah,
while.
we were young, but we were all in. My friends having a house party,
Right,
and we
yeah.
just did this. We're just in the sitting room. We just absolutely destroyed the sitting room. I felt awful.
Oh dear.
It was a terrible thing.
idea. Yeah.
But yeah, there's been, and then like even like things like dabbing as well, like that have just come off the internet and have just spread viral.
I love a good dab. I love it.
But a lot of this has been through Vine though. Like I say, it's kind of interlinked because a lot of these dabbing things and stuff has come through Vine to some extent. So it'd be interesting to see if that does affect. I mean, there's still Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, like we say, but Vine has been very successful at sort of spreading things across the globe.
I think Vine is the one where you see it first. You see it
Yeah.
first on Vine, and then you go search it on YouTube. Like if you want to see it again, you'll search it on YouTube instead of trying to find it in Vine again.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, another one as well that I saw. This is a few weeks ago now that I sort of first started to hear about this one. It's called Napflix. Napflix. All right. So another one where it's blended. It's obviously Netflix and Nap,
Yeah.
but it's blended two things together.
Mm.
And even Netflix is one. It's internet and flicks, cinema,
Yeah.
flicks, whatever. But yeah, so Netflix basically it's full of documentaries. And it's to help people sleep if they can't sleep. You're watching boring documentaries or strange things that are just boring, really.
Are we being broadcast on Netflix?
Oh, it might be.
Yeah.
First episode might be on Netflix. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it'll work? Do you think people want to use it for that, or is it just a bit of a gimmick?
It might help if you've got insomnia, I guess. But other than that, well, I think it's a bit of a gimmick, isn't it?
I
You
mean-
don't watch TV to go to sleep. Well, I don't know.
Well, that's what the one of the co-founders has said that he wants to make entertainment boring. Is that
What's
possible?
the point
Bit of an
in that?
oxymoron. It's a bit of an oxymoron. It's a bit of a weird one to say
I think
that.
it's one of the ideas. It sounds great on paper, but
yeah,
just doesn't
yeah.
work.
Yeah, it's probably one of those ones where someone's just gone, I've got a great idea. And it's like,
Yeah.
initially great.
And they've had
It's
no other
not.
option.
Yeah.
They went, oh, we'll have to do it. We've got no other choice.
No.
But some of the ones on there, some of the shows that I've got is The Wonderful World of Tupperware,
Oh dear.
The Apple Farm, which tracks the apple,
The Apple phone.
Klingon, which was a documentary about some guy who wrote the Klingon language, was talking through the whole process
Oh
of
my
making it.
Oh, how
And
fascinating.
there's even one which is Power Juicer Pro, which is, it looked like some kind of daytime television cooking thing where they were having like an hour-long discussion about this juicer from a few years ago. So boring stuff? Any other things you? If I was to say to you, watch something to put you to sleep, what would it be?
I think.
And don't say a Burnley football match.
Why would I say that? That is disgusting.
I'm only joking.
Yeah, a Blackburn football. No.
Out of
don't
all those,
know,
which one would you pick?
What would I pick?
The Wonderful World of Tupperware. That one's
Tupperware.
quite interesting.
I'll be right out.
Yeah, I mean, you can do a lot with Tupperware, can't you? So, the other one, Klingon language. Oh, I'd probably go for Tupperware. Or I could just have a recording of your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was actually one of a man who is shearing a sheep. It's just him shearing sheep.
A Welshman.
It's just constantly shearing sheep, and like it just follows like the world, the culture of shearing sheep.
I just don't understand. Now we have to pay to watch documentaries.
No, it's not paid. It's free.
It's
free.
free.
It's
Oh.
free.
Netflix.
Oh, that's all right.
Oh,
then.
okay, it's
It's
alright
free.
then. I'll give it a watch.
If it was
Right,
$5.99, I probably wouldn't do it.
No.
But might be worth a 30-day free trial. But it's not paid. But here you go, Netflix. If you want to start charging, I think Matthew's one of your first customer.
There you go.
Yep, I will
There you go.
give it a go.
Mm.
But yeah, the last topic for today then was one that I've just read about earlier. Was that drones? They've sort of found out that they'll be able to wirelessly charge them from some distance now. So potential implications for that in the future.
What kind of drones are we talking about?
Well, this one was just a drone, like a commercial, not commercial, but
Camera.
one that you can just sort of just fly around and mess around with. But in
Like,
terms
like
of
them quadcopters.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
I don't know what else to call them.
No.
But yeah, in terms
No,
of
yeah.
they've found out that they can now wirelessly charge from further distances, so to keep it charged while it's in the air.
I think it'll be
Wow.
great for like up and coming filmmakers who want to like they can keep a drone in the air. And imagine like a time lapse above New York City. You're watching the skyline of New York City over, and if it's
Yeah.
charging, it won't.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty safe up there. I think it'll look awesome. I think the possibilities you can do with it. Will be
That
good.
is a really good point, actually. I
Really,
was
really
thinking
good.
really boringly that it might affect our privacies, but you know what I think?
You
If
what?
you're-
Sorry.
I thought it might affect our privacies.
Yeah.
You know, you I don't know, walking down a back alley and then you've got a drone following you. It's
They've
be a
had
bit
they've had
creepy, wouldn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of issues with planes as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
Planes and drones, because the planes have hit a few drones,
Yeah.
things like that. And I
Oh yeah, that
And there have
could-
been
that
some
could
points where people have complained, obviously, about public areas and stuff with drones.
become-
and-
Yeah, exactly.
I think
like
because
that.
drones are so new, nobody really knows where the law stands on
Yeah,
them yet.
yeah.
And I think they're trying to
Yeah.
work it out really, really quickly,
Yeah.
and they're trying to like appease both
Yeah.
sides.
Mm.
Because obviously, somebody could just strap an explosive or something to it, and that wouldn't be good at all.
No.
There was
no.
there was a point a few months ago, maybe last year, where they were talking about potentially having drones to like deliver goods, like
Yeah.
Amazon goods and stuff like that. I think
Yeah, and-
Amazon were one of the people who were looking into doing that.
And like, if you live near a local pizza or something,
Yeah.
they could get the drone to take it.
Mm.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Johnny? Because obviously that would then take jobs from delivery drivers and stuff like that. And
Forget the delivery drivers.
I think it'd be
I
cool.
like that idea.
having it cool.
Having
But
said that, no.
there's problems there though that someone could attack your drone and steal your goods. So
That's true.
I've shot
Well,
down
that'd
a
be good
pizza.
banter, wouldn't it? That'd be good. Yeah, but I don't think I'd be able to reach the drone myself. But no, you're right though. I think on a serious note, if that did happen, I do feel sorry for some people who might be out of work for about 5 minutes.
I think it's a bit pointless
Yeah.
when you can get a delivery driver to do the
Yeah.
same job.
No, but some delivery drivers are inept. They
You'd have to
really
pay.
are.
You'd have to pay wirelessly though, as well, because the drone obviously.
What? Yeah.
yeah, or online or something.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Or you could just give the drone the money.
Yeah, but
Why
Just
not?
count it.
Yeah.
We are getting to the point though with technology though where like drones are being used everywhere and things are being used. all
Oh,
over.
Terminator will be happening in a few
Oh,
years.
don't say
I'm
it.
calling it now. It's going to be.
Yeah. Rise of the machines. There we go.
Do you reckon we'll have drones in more public places though as well, or even just robots in general?
Yeah, I was thinking, did anyone watch, I think there was a TV series where there were drones as humans, and
Oh.
that people couldn't differentiate between the human and the drone.
Mhm.
Oh, is that humans? Is that what it's called?
That's what it's called.
it's back on
Yeah.
soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now that is a scary thought, I have to admit. That is
Mm.
quite creepy. That an identical replica of me,
Mm.
or anyone, could just be there and it could take over your life. You would
Yeah.
not know anything about
See, I think the companies would look at me and go, "Nah, we'll not bother with him. We'll skip this one."
it. No.
Yeah.
Scary thought though, isn't it?
It's terrifying.
It's terrible.
And then with all this stuff about self-driving cars as well, Google have stepped up their testing of that.
I would not feel safe. I wouldn't trust. There's just that little bit of me that just would not be able to trust.
If everyone was in a self-driving car though, I think that's the way it works. Right?
Yeah,
That's the way
exactly.
it's gonna have to be everyone. I know one. I
Exactly.
think.
Yeah.
that makes, like, to some extent, like, say you could cyber attack
Yeah.
the car, couldn't you? You
Yeah.
could change where it goes, and that
Yeah.
would be obviously a risk they'll have to take.
That's the thing. The more technologically advanced we get, the more vulnerabilities we have for hackers.
Yeah.
To actually look into it, there was this thing saying a hacker, if you have a smart home, because smart homes are the new thing, everything's wired up.
Yeah.
A hacker can get into your dishwasher and get into your whole home hub and take over your whole house.
Yeah. It's quite scary actually thinking about that, but
Yeah. I wouldn't
Yeah.
like them getting into my dishwasher.
but yeah, like I say, it is going to have to be everything or nothing with technology.
Yeah.
Um,
It is a scary thought, I think. We don't want to be too over-reliant, do we, on technology? I know we seem to be going that way at the moment. I mean, 20, 30 years ago, we didn't even have, 40 years ago, we didn't even have colour television. We were
mobile
already-
phones as well.
Exactly.
accelerated.
Exactly. We've gone from the brick to the iPhone. What are we on now? What are we on?
7 or
7 plus.
7 plus.
7 plus.
That's me. I'm well up to date with
5.
technology. But yeah, we don't want to become. Well, we are reliant, aren't we? We are reliant on our technology, but we
All
don't.
our phones, social
Yeah,
media.
it's a massive thing. It's a massive thing in society. It's probably going to get worse, isn't it? And we're just going to be. In fact, there'll probably be a time when the technology is greater than we are.
You think?
Yeah.
I think it already is.
Well, yeah. No.
I think some
Even when you think about it, we take things for granted though. Like computers, the stuff they can do that we can't. Like some computers, is
But the thing computers can't do at the moment is think like a human.
yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
have like
But
the problem
They
solving.
have to be programmed.
They will.
Yeah.
They will develop AI, but at the moment AI is still quite. It's
Primitive.
quite big.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
the-
quite primitive.
And the
it's
problem with AI as well is at the moment, well, not problem, but at the moment with AI is that they're being programmed to, being programmed to be like humans. They're not, you know what I mean?
they're
Yeah.
being made to
They're gonna
adapt
miss-
and
yeah.
to be able to solve a problem that
Yeah.
it hasn't seen before.
Yeah.
And remember problems like the ones
Well,
it's already
humans
Yeah.
have
had.
basic instincts. Like if you don't realise they're there until you need them, like our survival instincts. I don't think machines will ever be able to fully understand that.
Yeah. Ben, the station manager for LA1, was saying to me the other day, I forgot what it's called, is it the Turing test?
Yeah.
Yep.
He was saying a quote that he'd read, which was, we don't have to worry about the ones who pass the Turing test, it's the ones who pretend they fail, which I thought was quite interesting. But like I say, with technology, I was reading an article as well the other day, again in The Guardian, other newspapers are available, that it was about the concept of money and how that could eventually become completely digital. Obviously now with these new £5 notes in circulation, it's going to be some time probably before they get taken out again. But looking at that from that perspective, like you say, hackers, you know, if all your money's online and you get hacked,
Yeah.
scary business.
Like, have you seen Mr. Robot?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mr.
that's
Is that? Oh, yeah. New
it.
series.
Basically hacks all the banks and gets rid of everyone's debt and all the money and
Yeah.
stuff and everything. All the banks
That's one of my
collapse.
favourite TV shows.
Yeah.
Well worth a watch if you haven't seen Mr. Robot after this discussion. If you want to know more about hacking as well, it's very interesting to watch that because it has, like, all of the hacking on that show is possible. Like it's done. Like it's not glorified. It's not,
There you go.
you know.
Yeah, it is very accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
Scary
like a
thought.
lot of hacking in films is just let's mash a keyboard and pretend we're typing in codes. Whereas this is, you know, all the things on the screen that you see typing into terminals is what is genuine. So that's it. I think from this week from LA 101, first episode of the new talk show here. I've been joined by Johnny, Michael, and Matthew, and I'm JL. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week.
Right.